Bring your bagpipes.
Uh-oh, now we're recording. We better be
All right, behave.
good. See how we change our tone?
Right. Mm.
Oh, Amanda. Oh, yeah, that's right. Amanda's got a request in there, and it's a good one. So for those of you in other places.
Thank you. And I'm also tossing in the virtual bookshelf that I made through the sessions too. So if anybody had any books you wanted me to include, let me know. And a request on there
my new
too.
book.
You have to give her the info.
It's on.
Is it on there already? All right.
Yep.
I'll come back to that later. Unabashedly promoting my new book.
CEE. I'm just writing it down. I have trouble getting things out of the chat. I don't know why. It's just me. What a wonderful conference.
Oh man, great energy.
Unbelievable energy. Just new people, alumni, students, community.
Great stuff.
Fabulous.
So as soon as Harry gets back, because Harry was here early and was wondering when the session was going to start, and I said 2:15, so he's going to take a quick break. Harry, I don't know if you're out there, but we'll start when you reappear, or we'll just give you a couple minutes and then we'll get started.
Russ, I think I sent you a message and I was trying to send it to Bill.
No problem.
But if you want to come to the office at 11:30 on Monday, you can come too.
Now it's feeling like a reunion, seeing all these familiar faces and names.
There's Josh.
Josh, you changed locations.
I did.
Not in
And
the
that was at
office.
school.
What's
No,
that?
not like the study quad. They don't open 24 hours.
Oh.
What a nice group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for some of our distance folks, you know, they don't realize we're in an old school dorm. We're in a girls' dorm here, so this was a double.
Chase Hall used to be a dorm, right?
It was a girls' dorm, so yeah, all of the fixings of a dorm.
Yep.
But we are moving into a new building.
Yeah, when's that going to be? I was wondering.
Oh, yeah.
One of the announcements.
Oh, it is. I'm
Oh,
I am
boy.
heightening your
Extrovert.
anticipation.
I mean, if you keep going, you're going to do the whole State of the Center address. We'll just
Seriously.
wrap things up. Oh, that's it. Good to see everybody. Sue shared it all.
That's it. Give me
That's it.
5 minutes, I'll do it.
That's a wrap. So we're still waiting for Harry Vardis. If he doesn't show in the next couple of minutes, we'll get started. I'm just trying to be respectful of Harry because I did.
There he is.
Harry's
There he
there.
is. Harry, all the
You-
pressure was on you. I said we weren't going to start until you return.
I had walked away for a minute.
Well, we're happy you're back. Okay, so great to see everyone. Thanks for joining me and the faculty, alumni. Good to see you. Welcome back, students. Thanks for joining us. Perhaps you're here because you're compelled to be here by Dr. Keller Mathers and her course. And friends of the center, thanks for hanging out with us to catch up on or be exposed to some of the exciting things that are happening in our department. So I'm going to share my screen and resize my window so you're looking only at my slides. And for the two of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Gerard Puccio. I'm the chair, distinguished professor at the Center for Applied Imagination, 33, actually I've lost count. It's 33, 34 years. Let's just say 3+ decades, which can't compete with Dr. Firestein's 8+ decades. Did I say 8?
Yeah, that's good.
It's
That's good.
4, 5. Is it
5. No, it's
Are you into your 5th decade?
well, if we count when I got here, 78 to 88, 88, 98, 98. Yeah, close coming out of the 5th. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So 45, yeah. So
So
how do I look? How do I look? I'm 106.
You look-
How do I look? Yeah. So.
you look great for 150. You look good. So what I'll do is I'll share a little bit to just some key initiatives that we're currently working on. Exciting times in the department, but I will preface it by saying it's also a very challenging time. For those of you following the news in the US, specifically, universities have come under fire. There's some serious debate happening about the value of higher education. We have also hit what is referred to lovingly as the demographic cliff. And all of these trends have hit public universities especially hard. And Buffalo State is now, in terms of student population, half the student population that it was at its peak. So at its peak, we were 12,000, 12 to 13,000 students. In the fall of 2023, we were about 6,000 students. So consequences, budgetary crunch. We're in the red by millions of dollars. We're not the only ones. Some of the SUNY campuses have been taken over by SUNY Central. They're now helping those campuses to become leaner and meaner. We haven't reached that point yet, but this is the backdrop of the context at Buffalo State. So we're doing well. We're doing great, but it's within the context of a very challenging set of times. You can imagine how much stress that's causing the campus and our good colleagues at the campus. On the positive side, we have a new president coming on board this summer, Dr. Chance Glenn. I'm optimistic that President Glenn will bring some steady leadership and visionary leadership to Buffalo State University. And I'm optimistic that he may, because of his background, recognize the unique value of our department. In some of his public announcements, he has often invoked the word creativity, and has talked in an interview done with local television about the importance of promoting student creativity. And he, in fact, is a recognized creator himself. He has a dozen or so patents. He's an engineer, and he's also been nominated for an Emmy because he's a musician. No, is it Emmy? No. What's the?
That'd be a Grammy.
Grammy. He's been nominated for Grammy Awards because he's a musician. So he brings this fascinating background of science and art, and I think he's going to be a great fit for Buffalo State. So that's the backdrop. Specifically, in terms of what we'll share, I'll take you through 2 key initiatives that will lead nicely into a current initiative that Dr. Susan Keller Mathers has thrown a lot of effort into that we want to share with you and invite you to participate in. Then we'll have faculty updates with Dr. Firestein and Dr. Hollinger, and then I'll wrap up with some quick announcements, but feel free to jump in and ask questions or make us pause Since this is within the family, let's make it sort of like we're sitting down at the dinner table and having a conversation at the dinner table. So don't hesitate to jump in and make comments or ask questions. Does that sound good? Great. I got some thumbs ups. So Doctor of Professional Studies, DPS, is the program that we're putting forward. Buffalo State is now Buffalo State University. Back in the 22-23 academic year, Buffalo State was renamed and given university stature. Long time in coming. So we're very happy about that. And with that, it's time to be thinking about doctoral programs. Not that Buffalo State would have a large menu of doctoral programs, but some select number of doctoral programs. And since we started this proposal process, oh my God, I think it was probably when I was in my second decade at Buffalo State. It's been a long time coming. I mean, the idea was first conceived back in 2012. And this is a great example of a change initiative, right? Change in organizations, especially large bureaucracies, is never easy. We started this process back in 2012, and our idea champion, President Aaron Podolewski, sadly passed away. We lost our champion, and the idea went fallow for a while. But fortunately, under Provost Mayrose, we were able to resurrect the idea of a doctoral program, and started actively re-engaging and working with this proposal back in 2019. So when we hit university status last year, we were already poised to put our proposal forward to SUNY. So the new program proposal has gone forward. It's under review, and in December, SUNY gave us their initial set of responses, which were simply clarifying questions. We have now responded to those questions, and so our proposal has gone back to SUNY. We have a very effective liaison with the State University of New York. If you don't understand how the system works here, the State University of New York is the largest public university system in the US, 63 campuses, 500,000 students. Each campus has some degree of autonomy and independence, but we are all under the umbrella of a central system called the State University of New York. So approval of the doctoral program has to come from both the State University of New York and the State Education Department in New York State. So the proposal is under review and is moving along. As part of that proposal, we had a team of external reviewers, Dr. Vlad Glavinow from Dublin City University, and Dr. Freddie Reisman from Drexel University were brought on as external reviewers to vet our proposal. They provided glowing, and I mean glowing, comments, which is really important because SUNY, of course, this being such a niche field, really must lean on the external subject matter experts to guide them as to whether this is a viable degree or not. So it's really important to get a very positive, strong review. And I'm going to share some of the comments with you by way of example. So pin that, we'll come back to it. So many of you, Jacob, who's been stalking me, and every time he sees me, asks me, when are we going to get started? When are we get? So we are looking pretty solidly at a fall 2025 start. This is not a guarantee. This is thinking optimistically. You can never be sure with bureaucracies, but seems to be the track that we're on. And we'll be admitting our first cohort of students most likely in the winter of 2024, 2025. So hold on to that. I'm going to circle back to some of the details around the Doctor of Professional Studies. but here are some comments, and I know this is rather dense, but it was hard for me to parse it down. So these are some of the comments made by our external reviewers, and I just think they were so sharp in their analysis and so positive. And I think this should make us all feel proud, and that's the reason why I'm sharing these quotes. So the proposed doctorate in professional studies, DPS, by the way, this is not a PhD, this is a DPS. PhDs are more theoretical, where DPSs are designed for professionals, they're more applied and practical. The Doctorate of Professional Studies in Creativity and Change Leadership is a rigorous and timely program. Love the combination of words there. Rigorous and timely program to be launched by one of the world's leading centers in the area of creativity and innovation research, the Center for Applied Imagination. Its stated aim is to provide professionals with the knowledge, principles, and tools to serve as change makers in their organizations and communities, which offers both a clear and compelling vision for the program. Its focus on professionals is well suited, given the fact that work experience is a requirement for success in the area of change leadership. A number of years ago, we changed our degree to Creativity and Change Leadership. I'm working now on a chapter for a book coming out of Tel Aviv University, co-authoring it with Blair Miller and Pam Zalay, going into the literature on creative leadership. And in doing this background research, I'm struck by the unique position our department is in to weave together two compelling forces for change. What brings about change in social settings is creative ideas, and then the creative leadership capabilities to bring those ideas to fruition. Wow, that is genius. And so I'm really proud that, and this came from Vlad Glavinow, that he picked up on the symmetry between those two, and how well our curriculum and our proposed DPS addresses this. Going on, the DPS in Creativity and Change Leadership is a unique program in terms of its scope, delivery, and content. The fact that it focuses on at once, and here's the point that I was just making, at once on creativity and leadership gives it a unique edge among competitors who normally emphasize one of these two vital workplace processes, whereas in our curriculum, we weave the two together. This program also builds on a long historical legacy at SUNY Buffalo State University that goes back to the 50s, 60s, and 70s, when a lot of what is considered today the core of the discipline of creativity studies was established by key figure either at or associated with the college. The recent renaming of the Center to Applied Imagination honors this legacy and also brings to the fore the special focus on creative problem solving in the context of change leadership. And I'll pick up the pace. I have one more to share with you. Is it okay if I share one more? You don't have a choice, really. I'm going to share one more anyhow. So I share this because I couldn't be more proud of our team. And of course, when you have a successful program, its impact and value rests on its content and on the people who are delivering. So it's more than the curriculum, it's the experts who are delivering the curriculum. And so to that point, one of the strongest features of an already exceptionally strong professional doctorate proposal has to do with the quality of the faculty, both individually and collectively. Past and present members of the Center for Applied Imagination have built a strong reputation as one of the main, if not the main, international hub for the study of creativity, creative leadership, and creative problem solving. The current faculty excels when it comes to training, research, and publications. And I would add, based on the interview with faculty members, also passion for their teaching and research and great enthusiasm for the DPS. If you hear me choking up, it's because I am. One of the greatest strengths of the group is the fact that they have areas of overlap in terms of specialization, but also complement very well their areas of expertise. This is demonstrated by the courses taught by each member and the kind of collaborative research conducted by the group. So 34 years ago, when I had options, I came back to the center because I didn't want to be the lone person in a school of management studying creativity. I wanted to be with colleagues who were all studying creativity, but from different perspectives. And I think this statement recognizes that and acknowledges the fact that we all share a core mission, but our skill sets and our knowledge bases represent diverse perspectives on creativity. I think that's a strength among our full-time and our adjunct faculty. And so when I say faculty, I'm referring to the full faculty team because they all contribute, right? Those of you who are students in our program, doesn't matter whether it's a full-time person or adjunct person, that's the subject matter expert you're studying with and under. And they all bring great knowledge and applied skills. So in terms of just some highlights related to the doctoral program, some of the components, it's going to be fully online. Although we may have an optional residential experience connected to, and this will relate to an announcement I'll make later, we're revivifying our relationship with the Creative Education Foundation. We share a common history, and Beth Miller and I have been having excellent dialogue. Beth is executive director of the Creative Education Foundation. In the capstone of the applied courses will be a requirement to deliver creativity. You heard Dr. Azia Prock earlier talk about complex training. The final piece in the program will be to deliver a complex creativity education or training experience. And that could happen at the Creative Problem Solving Institute. We're trying to put our students in front of other professionals. And of course, we all know, or most of us know, those of us who have taught and trained, if you really want to test whether your knowledge is solid or not, get up and teach. Because as soon as you do that, you recognize what you have been able to internalize, and also to recognize maybe where you need to shore up some of your knowledge or your skills. So that's going to be a key piece of this Doctorate of Professional Studies. We're doing some unique things. The dissertation, of course, all doctoral programs require a dissertation. You need to create original research and scholarship and to build new knowledge. This is one of the things that I know excites me, and I'm sure many of my colleagues, is that opportunity to mentor. I'll be very frank with you. The master's degree program goes so fast. I know you all miss us, but we also miss you. And so we want to work with you over a longer period of time. And the DPS gives us that opportunity to do that, especially related to the dissertation work that you'll do. And so we're going to do some unique things with the dissertation. One of the things that we're going to do is to allow for what's referred to as TAD, 3-article dissertations, meaning you're writing for publication immediately. In the old days, and still it's the dominant paradigm, you do a dissertation, you're exhausted, you're wiped out, you have no energy left, and it never goes to publication. That's what often happens. What the 3-article dissertation does is you're writing for publication, and then you combine those 3 articles into your dissertation. You stitch it together as a program of research, which does 2 things. One, you're already writing for an outside audience, and that outside audience, the community, as it happens in academe, right, which is different than writing a blog and posting it wherever you wish to post it, has to be vetted by the community of experts. So we're using the community, editors of the Journal of Creative Behavior, Creative Innovation Management, the Division 10, and their journal. I mean, there are a dozen journals in the field of creativity now. And so writing for publication and creating these manuscripts and submitting them to the journals will be part of the dissertation process if a student chooses that option. This is also unique, and I'm very proud of this group dissertation option where you work together as a group. Rare is it now where scholars write alone for publication, but they write with others, and so we want to create dissertation teams. This is, after all, a degree in creativity and change leadership. And if you can't work with others when, and get the benefits of that from the collaboration, then we're not living what we're teaching. It's a 72-hour, 40 credit hours beyond the master's degree. It's framed around Knoller, formula for creativity, knowledge, imagination, evaluation, master's degree in creativity and change leadership or equivalent required to enter into the DPS. It's, again, fully online over a 3-year period, part-time program for a cohort of about 12 students. 12 students will be admitted in each cohort each year. So I'll pause there. I try to pick up the pace there a little bit, but I do want to honor if there are any questions, though I don't want to linger too long.
One of the questions is the group dissertation, it's an option. It's not everybody's going to do a group dissertation.
Right. Yeah.
Russ wants to work with Jonathan. I don't know about that.
We should not let those two work together.
Yeah, I can see it already.
Okay, so in the spirit of moving along to make sure that my colleagues have time to share their news, Innovation Suite is moving along. Innovation Suite, second floor of Butler Library, a good chunk of that footprint, square footage, is going to be dedicated to our department and the creation, physical and digital, in both worlds, physical and virtual world. Has 4 features: Parnes Creativity Collection. This is an overhead view of the floor plan. Brainstorming room, student startup incubator, and a mentoring space named after Joe Reimels, who's donated along with the Parnes family, Osborne family, myself, and many others. Some of you are here with us today, have made donations to the Innovation Suite, and thank you very much. So we've got an architectural firm now working on details of what this will look like. It's gone into project with our facilities folks. This is the Parnes Creativity Collection space where the archival material will be on display. This is a Reimels mentoring space in the Puccio Small Business Incubator, the brainstorming room, and this is a more up-to-date look at what the brainstorming room will look like. When you enter the library, this is on the second floor, but you have a direct line of sight to this space. This space will be used to support local not-for-profits. This becomes like an applied learning laboratory where our students will facilitate, through service learning projects, not-for-profits in the local community to help them to solve real issues, to help advance Buffalo as a community. So Condeni Architects have detailed out the costs, which the projected costs are $620,000 for the renovation of the space. We've raised about $440,000, so we've got a gap to close there. But we are moving forward. The brainstorming room is targeted to open by the end of 2024. We'll be reaching out to ask people if they wish to serve as facilitators in the space. We don't want to limit it to our students, but we're also looking for potentially alumni who might wish to work with not-for-profits. During my sabbatical, which is coming up 2024, 2025, I'll be focusing on, Sue has actually already started this this year, and she's going to talk about this. I'll be focusing on our archival collection and building out the Parn space. And with that, set up to Sue Keller-Mathers, because she's already been working on this in connection to Ruth Noller. So Sue.
All right, let me share my screen for a minute. Okay, hold on here. So I had a sabbatical in the fall, and you know what happens with a sabbatical. You have an idea, you write it out, and then you go, aha. And I was focusing on our scholars, historical scholars like Donald McKinnon and Osborne and Ravenna Helson and a whole group of them. And when I went to the library, there was a really good visuals on Alex Osborne and good visuals on Sidney Parnes, and there were some of their collected materials. And I said, where is Ruth's voice? And it was an aha. I said, this sabbatical needs to be focused on Ruth. So I got a grant from the Faculty Student Association to put together some visuals and do some other things to get it started. And so then we started thinking about the Day of Giving, and we're looking at the Innovation Suite. And we said this year, the Day of Giving for the Innovation Suite needs to be in honor of Ruth Noller. So things kind of progressed in a way that was really cool. And so on the 13th of March, we'll do like an hour presentation. I did some interviews of some of Ruth's students, such as Bill Shepard, for example, Roger Firestein. And although I will be continuing to work on putting together some materials for a May event that I'll talk about in a minute, I will still share a little bit of those interviews on that noon to 1 online session, March 13th. But the big event, when is the last time we had a big, well, Roger always does parties, which is great. So we have not had a celebration on campus. So one of the things I wrote into the grant was a networking and celebration of Dr. Ruth Noller, where I'll have the videos that are put together. We'll have some visuals that I was able to put together as part of the grant, and we'll really celebrate her as part of a founding member of our center. So we're really excited about both the Day of Giving, the Innovation Suite, and honoring her. It happens during Women's History Month, and then all getting together in person on Friday, May 23rd at night, and having a celebration of Ruth. So that's pretty exciting. All right.
Super, thanks, Sue. We'll be sending out announcements about this. We think it's just really right and proper that we prop up Dr. Ruth Noller and make sure that she's visible and ever present in this innovation suite. So if you believe in Ruth's work and our founding faculty and would like to contribute to this, we certainly would appreciate your participation in the Day of Giving. I think it's just a great rallying point for us. So Sue, thanks so much for taking the lead on this.
And it is the 24th of May. I think the dates were off on both of those to begin with. That's weird. Friday night, the 24th of May.
Announcements will be coming out, and we'll make sure that you all are apprised. Okay, so over to faculty, the center-wide initiatives, over to faculty and some of the fascinating work that's happening in the department. We're going to hear from Dr. Roger Firestein and from Dr. Molly Hollinger. And first, we have Dr. Firestein.
Well, thank you, Dr. Puccio. Thank you, Gerard. Thank you all for being here. You might have mentioned that when I started the presentation, the sessions yesterday and today, I listed myself as emeritus. Although I am emeritus, I still love to give guest lectures. Molly has me in, Sue has me come in, Gerard comes in. I love to be involved in the faculty meetings, and I love moderating.
You can't stop him from coming to the faculty.
I just
He'd
keep
be so much
up.
more productive actually if he didn't come.
But not as fun.
80% less laughter.
80% less laughter. So also, I'm just still very, very passionate about this work. And in September of this year, on the 21st, we had a big party at Seneca One, which is the tallest building in Buffalo. We released Solve the Real Problem, which is my 7th book. It's laid out very similar to Creating a Flash with pictures and all those goodies and stuff like that. So if you're interested in getting it, it's on Amazon. It's on my website. Jonathan, you are a beta reader on this. Thank you so much for reading this. We're really proud of this and proud of where it's going. When I released Creating a Flash, I got an email from a gentleman who read the book, and he was really excited about talking to me about the book. And I met him in person and at a coffee shop. And when people, one of the most exciting things for an author is when somebody shows up with a book and it's dog-eared and there's tags in it and all this sort of stuff. Well, the gentleman was a gentleman named Dr. Ken Snyder, who is one of the top neurosurgeons in the area. And the intensity of this fellow is I spent about an hour talking to him, and then I spent about another hour decompressing with him, driving around afterwards to decompress. The long and the short of it is that we're now in the process of teaching medical students, first-year medical students, creative problem solving. Yeah. And so behind me is a lab coat that I'm really proud of that they gave to me for teaching the course. It's in the Department of Neurosurgery, which is like really cool. Yeah, so anyway, and when you take a look at Solve the Real Problem, my daughter became a doctor in April, so it's dedicated to Maria. So there's a picture of Maria in her lab coat and me in my lab coat. So, and so one of the things we worked on yesterday is the whole problem clarification stuff. And so we're very excited about getting that into medicine. As many of you know, misdiagnosis is one of the major causes of death, and finding out what the real problem is absolutely crucial. And they're really receptive to it, and the students are great. Along the lines of medicine, a number of years ago, a number of docs, we started sitting around my dining room table in a coffee shop and started talking about creativity and medical education and those sorts of things. And that is now evolved to the Buffalo Society for Creativity in Medical Education. We have a logo with a buffalo and a stethoscope, right? David, maybe if you can screen share that, if you get a chance, that might be fun. And every third Thursday of the month, this is moderated by Dr. Yates. We do it virtually now. Dr. Puccio has spoken at a couple of the events. Our last 2 sessions, we're working on a thing called Avio and Quivio, which are methodologies for teaching medical education that really are going to revolutionize that. Creativity is a big part of what we're doing with this. And so if you're interested, just send me an email. I put my email in the chat and just say, hey, I'm interested in this. And David and I will, there it is. There's the Buffalo Society. Isn't that cute? You got to have a logo. Yeah. So it helps when one of your friends that works on the book is a graphic designer. So thank you, David. So that is what's going on. And we're very excited about the things that are happening with that. So also, if you also want to just take a look, we redesigned the website, rogerfirestein.com. There's a lot of free stuff on there. As many of you know, the Creating a Flash book corresponds to a whole online teaching program where you can actually read Creating a Flash, and you can see how we do those techniques that are on there. So that was the book that came out a few years ago. Along with creative problem solving, David Yates and I are actively involved now in taking a look at AI and creative problem solving. We recently completed some work that we're very proud of with the American Heart Association, and working with them to help to create food guidance that will help not only nationally, but internationally. And in this session, we do a thing called a breakthrough lab, where we bring in creative catalysts to work on many of the challenges that they have. Bobby was one of those creative catalysts, as a matter of fact. And essentially, we had four creative questions that we worked on, and we came up with about 1,746 ideas total for those questions. We used Mural under the direction of Dr. Yates. And one of the things that we found is with that volume of ideas, oftentimes you get some cognitive overload going on. And so we're starting to use AI to look at helping to group those ideas, to look at themes and those sorts of things. So that's what's going on. Really excited about that stuff, and just continue to have a blast, and just love working with my colleagues. And please visit the new website. Buy the book. Jonathan actually will autograph any book. No, If you go to my website and buy it there, I'll sign it and send it out to you. So it's also available on Amazon. So, and if you're interested in the Buffalo Society for Creativity and Medical Education, just send me your email to roger@rogerfirestein.com. And that is at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So docs get up early and we go for right an hour. So thanks guys for that. I'm buying the first round of drinks at the happy hour tonight. So did I say that? Is that recorded? So
I heard it.
you did, yeah. So thank you, everyone. So really, really excited. Really excited.
Please fax me a martini, Roger.
I will. Your usual dry.
Usual, yes, please.
Not stirred. Right. Right.
Fax it. Thank you.
Got it. Bombay Sapphires on the way.
Oh, Gerard, you're muted.
Accidentally leaned in. Oh, thank you, Roger. Appreciate it. Love having you around the department, and we know we'll never get rid of you. And
Nope, you'll never get rid of me.
and we're okay with that.
Me too.
So we're going to jump over to Dr. Molly Hollinger. We never use doctor around. I don't know why I'm doing
No,
that.
we don't. We're just
We're going to turn over to Molly, who's just doing some fascinating
great.
work. I can no longer say Molly's our newest faculty member. Of course, you all met Melody earlier today. I will say when Melody came in for her interview, when we had the finalists on campus, I was about to introduce Molly to Melody. I was with Melody and Molly came into the hall and I turned and I was about to say, and Molly, this is Melody, Dr. Ozyaprok. And the two knew each other and ran into each other's arms. It was like out of a movie. I heard music and they were in slow motion. And I guess I don't need to introduce the two of you. They overlapped right at the UConn. Were you both at UConn at the same time? Okay.
We were, yeah. I will never forget your face, Dr. Puccio.
Yeah. You stole my moment. I was going to do an introduction. I couldn't, but I can't introduce Molly. Molly, take it away.
Yeah, I always say like creativity field, it's like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You always know someone. So I'll keep this relatively short because we do have a happy hour to get to shortly. Yes, thank you, Roger. And I will also mention that Roger frequently wears his medical coat to our faculty meetings as well. So it gets a lot of views. So
it's great at parties.
So the update that I want to share, this is timely. Yesterday, I received the proofs for a CRJ article, which has been a long time coming. And so seeing it in print was sort of surreal. I was like, is this real after all this time? But indeed, it seems to be. And as Dr. Puccio or Gerard mentioned earlier, we had at one time one creativity journal in the field, right? And now we have dozens. And so this article looked at the differences between journals. So PACA, CRJ, JCB, and how now we have different areas even within the journals, which is really something to celebrate. So unfortunately, it's not open access, but if you're interested, I'd be happy to share it on an individual basis. So just shoot me an email.
Super. Thank you, Molly. So in the spirit of spirits and getting a happy hour, I'm going to wrap things up by sharing some announcements. I, of course, skipped over not of course. I did not highlight Dr. Ozyaprok, Melody. You all met her earlier with her fantastic keynote that she delivered. Thank you. Thank you, Melody. Thanks for being the newest member of our team. How quickly, Molly, time passes when we go from being the newest to no longer the newest faculty member, though we have an interesting bimodal distribution in terms of age. You have senior faculty, Sue, Roger, myself, and then we have our newer faculty members and just remarkable adjuncts, including Dr. Joe Udis, Dr. David Yates, Dr. Mike Ackerbauer, Dr. Blair Miller, and many, many other just terrific folks who give their time and expertise to the department, and we're expanding that group as we move towards the DPS. I see Mary Kay, Dr. Culpepper out there. We are very fortunate. We've got like a dozen alumni who've gone on, and probably more, who have their doctorates, and we're looking to involve them in our work as we go forward. So to close things down, and then we'll open it up to any Q&A or comments. Sue mentioned it earlier, we are moving into a new building probably in 2026, a completely rehabbed building. It'll be the what was, if you were on campus for your studies, it is the building that was formerly known as the classroom building. If you remember that very cleverly named building, the classroom building. We have a lot of those, but it was the one named the classroom building, not to be confused with the 28 other classroom buildings. That's going to be called Elms Hall, ELMS, Elms Hall. And we've got prime real estate, ground floor, right at the intersection of the ground floor where two hallways come together. So it really is prime real estate. And we were selected as a program of distinction to be in that prominent location. If you haven't participated in our mini Cs, thank you, Molly, for sharing this idea last year in a faculty meeting. We do 3 1-hour sessions. I was thinking 3. We did 3 in the fall. We'll do 2 in the spring because we have C, the main C, in March. And they were extremely well attended. Registrations hit 100 for each one of our mini Cs. We had about 50 participants on average in our mini C program series. We felt that waiting once a year to see you all and talk to you was just way too long. And that's why we started the mini C event. So look for those announcements, and hopefully you'll join us if you haven't already for a mini Creativity Expert Exchange in the future. Creative Education Foundation and the Center for Applied Imagination, we've been working very closely. Things are really moving in an exciting, positive direction. Beth Miller was just on campus a couple weeks ago to look at the campus with the view to bringing CPSI, the Creative Problem Solving Institute, back to Buffalo State. This is one of the reasons why the Innovation Suite is so important, is to have a place where we can demonstrate visually the pioneering role that Buffalo State and the creative education played in launching this field. So for a whole host of reasons, we think it's just really smart to get the Creative Problem Solving Institute back on campus in the summertime. And then I dropped in the chat box final announcement. So enrollments have been down across campus significantly. I mentioned 50% of the overall enrollment at Buffalo State. There's been a 50% decline. There's been a small decline in our enrollment. And we have learned through surveys that there are 2 primary ways that we recruit. One is people finding us in our website, but the other primary way is word of mouth. Our alumni who are enthusiastic advocates for our program, sharing their infectious enthusiasm with others. So if you would help us to promote our graduate program, distance program, or campus program, we're doing an information session, open house on March 22nd from 4 to 5 in the afternoon. And I put into the chat the Eventbrite link that you can send people to have them register. And that's it. Exciting things happening. Anything I missed from anyone, any of my colleagues, anything I've missed, or comments, reactions, questions? I'm very needy. Compliments.
Well done, Gerard.
Oh, thank you.
Now he's better.
Now
There we go.
I can make it through at least a happy hour.
Yeah. Well, you
And I
guys
have a
all make
question.
this great. You all make this conference great. So
Yes, thank you all. Thank you all.
Yeah.
And Melody, fabulous job today.
Great job.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, the only thing standing between us and happy hour is signing off at this meeting. So wherever you are, we hope you have a very happy rest of your day. Great to see everybody. Thanks for coming to our leap year creativity expert exchange. Take care all.
Take care, everyone.
Gerard,